Now that your campaign is set up, it's time to start your journey across Eragoth. Let's walk through how to navigate the board. The team that chose their slayers first during the setup, which we'll call Team A, will begin the campaign as their slayers. The opposing team, Team B, starts as the demons. Team A selects their starting path, either the northern, central or southern route. Team B then chooses their starting path from the remaining options, but cannot share the same path as Team A. Both teams begin on the first square of the left side of the board, marking the start of their journey. Movement is marked by the team's icon. To move your team icon along the path, roll 1d6 and move your team icon by the number of spaces shown on the dice. For example, a roll of 4 means you move your icon by 4 squares. You can move in any direction as long as it follows the path. Special movement rules apply for rolls of 1. If a 1 is rolled on your first turn, you cannot roll a 1 again on your second turn. If a 1 is rolled consecutively, re-roll the second turn until the result is greater than 1. This also applies when using a bonus roll action card. Some areas on the board are marked with an arrow symbol indicating that they can be entered. Landmarks such as strongholds, dungeons, tombs and colonies have clear paths leading to their entrances and do not require an arrow. Landmarks with arrows can be entered from either direction, not just the direction of the arrow. With these simple movement rules, your adventure across the perilous paths of Eragoth begins. Plan your moves carefully and don't let the demons slow you down. In Book of Skulls, the game progresses through a series of overworld turns. An overworld turn consists of actions your team undertakes while controlling their slayers. Each team takes 2 overworld turns as their slayers before switching control to the opposing team, who then controls the shared demons. Here's how to play your overworld turns step by step. At the beginning of your first overworld turn, draw 1 action card and 1 encounter card from the respective decks. These are collectively called event cards, and 1 event card is played during each overworld turn. Roll your d6 for navigation and move your team's icon by the number of squares rolled. For example, rolling a 4 advances your icon by 4 squares. After moving, reveal one of your drawn event cards. You can choose the order. Play either the action card or the encounter card first. Note that some action cards, called X cards, can be held for later use. These are marked with an X next to their name, and if you choose to hold an X card, that completes the event card step for the current turn. If your team's path is obstructed by a landmark, such as a stronghold, dungeon or a colony, an extra step is added to your overworld turn. The accompanying walkthrough provides specific instructions for completing each landmark. Now some important notes for overworld turns. If you draw a usurper card, it ends your entire turn immediately. However, if this happens at a landmark, your next turn begins with completing a landmark before drawing your 2 new event cards. Once a landmark is completed, it cannot be re-entered and counts as a regular path square. Now speaking of completing landmarks, completing strongholds and dungeons provides the boss souls needed to reach the Skeleton Witch. If a team fails to defeat the boss of the landmark, the opposing team can attempt it starting from where the boss's HP left off. And once a team has visited a specific colony, it can be considered cleared for that team. Colonies can then be passed through without stopping, as they will count as a single square. Let's walk through an example of overworld turns for both teams. We'll begin with Team A as the slayers whilst Team B controls the demons. The gameplay alternates after each team completes 2 overworld turns, and here's how it unfolds. Team A starts by drawing 1 action card and 1 encounter card. They then roll their d6 for navigation and they roll a 3. After moving, Team A chooses to use their action card. This card reveals a chest. They proceed with the mechanics to unlock the chest, and with this completed, Team A's first overworld turn ends. For their second turn, Team A rolls a 6. However, a dungeon, named the Scorched Ruins, is only 4 spaces away, so they stop there. Remember that landmarks block progress until completed. Before entering the dungeon, Team A must use their second event card, the encounter card that they drew earlier. This card results in a standard encounter which they resolve. With the encounter completed, Team A enters the Scorched Ruin dungeon. At this point, Team B, as the games master, refers to the walkthrough for the dungeon mechanics. After completing the dungeon, Team A's overworld turn ends and control switches to Team B. Now it's Team B's turn as their slayers. They draw 1 action card and 1 encounter card, and then they roll a 3 for navigation. They choose to use their action card first, which reveals a White Rider card. This card doubles the value of their next 2 navigational rolls, and because it's an X card, Team B can hold it for later. They choose to hold this card for later, and the act of deciding to hold this card for later completes the event card part of this turn and ends their first overworld turn. For the next turn, Team B rolls a 6 and moves 6 spaces. Next, they play their other event card, which is their encounter card, which results in a standard encounter. After resolving the encounter, Team B's second overworld turn ends and control switches back to Team A. Control will then switch between the two teams like this for the rest of the campaign.